Yo, what's up, everybody? Brian's back. Freddie's back. Another week is down. A lot of things have happened. We have so much to say and so little time to say it, which is actually not true because we can say it as long as we want.
We have an hour. We have an hour. All right?
Everybody's like, make it an hour. I'm like, I'm gonna make it an hour, and then like we wrap up, and I'm like, it was 45 minutes. Like it's always 45 minutes. I don't know why, but we've got quite a lot. I know me and Freddie, we do talk fast.
Slower.
We should just be like, hey, I have a lot I want to talk to y'all about.
Hey guys.
So we do have a lot. There was some stuff that happened with 2K and Gearbox. There was a lot of conversation around microtransactions and Dragon's Dogma 2 that I thought's really interesting, and even the way Suicide Squad's season 1 store looks I think is pretty interesting. So lots to cover, lots to say. We'll probably go into some tech stuff too, because frames seem to be a constant conversation right now. But you know what? Let's just roll this intro and let's get right into it. What do you think about that, Freddie?
I mean, we always have to mention that please subscribe and comment and like, so we can have a reason to do these things. If we only have like 5 people watching, I mean,
why are we here?
Exactly.
Let's do it.
All right.
I always miss it on the video side. I always try to plan that transition perfectly, and I fail literally every time.
Never planned it ever.
Don't be
correctly.
Mean. Nobody likes it when you're mean.
Nobody likes when I'm mean to you.
Let's just start it with the 2K thing because that had just happened.
Yep.
Not surprising. Gearbox was there was all sorts of issues going on with Gearbox. Gearbox Publishing actually did publish Outriders, right? Now that studio is doing a game for Xbox. I don't think that has anything to do with this.
Wait. Gearbox didn't publish it. They created, because publisher was Square Enix.
Oh no, wait! I'm not talking about that game. I'm talking about Remnant. I don't know why I do that every time.
Remnant, yeah.
Gunfire Games is published by Gearbox. You know what? Do we know? Did 2K buy the publisher too, or just the video game making side?
I think it's an all-in-one. I think Gearbox is. I think so. I don't know.
What we got from Randy Pitchford right now was joining forces with Take-Two Interactive, 2K/2K will help Gearbox ascend to our next level. Take-Two and 2K have demonstrated repeatedly their commitment to our engine of generating creativity, happiness, and profit. We set the bar for interactive entertainment and achieve remarkable results with groundbreaking record-setting games when we worked together at arm's length as partners. That's definitely talking about Borderlands. I'm sure some other games, but Borderlands was actually made by Gearbox, published by 2K. I'm incredibly excited about what we can accomplish now that we are fully aligned as one. And so what happened here is Gearbox got out from underneath Embracer, which a lot of people are obviously very happy about. Okay. So this does say it. Awesome. All right. So yes, as a with their games, they got picked up by 2K. So in doing this, so they did get separated from Gunfire Games, so they're no longer associated with Remnant or a game called Hyper Light Breaker. So,
oh really?
Yeah, because
is Remnant owned by?
So now I guess Remnant is now just going to be owned by Embracer.
Well, I don't think Remnant is owned. Is it owned by Embracer? I don't think it is.
Gunfire Games, I'm guessing just now.
I think they're independent. I think they were published by them, but I don't think it's. I don't know. I
can't really speak on that. I don't think it's too big of a deal, but
I mean, it's a small game anyway. It's not that big of a game. But
well, I mean, in 2019, this is 2019, so I have no idea what's happened since then. THQ is the person who bought Gunfire Games. That was in 2019 though.
Yeah, THQ, but then I think they got bought out probably
by Embracer Group. So their own. Yeah. So Gearbox is just no longer associated with that now. But for a lot of people, they're super excited because that's that's Borderlands. So and then out of this, it looked like in the contract and stuff somewhere. I was just seeing it on Twitter that we are basically confirmed, which everybody already knew, that Gearbox is in the process of making Borderlands 4. I don't care. I haven't liked Borderlands since the second one with Handsome Jack. I literally I tried Tiny Tina's, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I couldn't get into that. I thought, and I did not.
I think
like
I'm over it
3.
too.
So
I didn't finish Borderlands 3. It's just the same of the it's the same game. It's different, better, but
I also only played Borderlands for the story. I never played it for the looter aspect,
the looter, and then the like art direction and all that.
And all that stuff. So I mean, whatever, good for them. That's a good purchase for 2K. People love Borderlands, and if Borderlands 4 can strike back at its community, then that should be a very good merger.
I mean, at least they really, what they did is about an IP, because I mean, for the price, it wasn't bad. It was like $465 or something.
Yeah, you think
something
firing's gonna happen?
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, we'll see. I mean, 2K is very profitable. They make,
are they?
Yeah. I mean, what think about the games they make.
The basketball, like #1 basketball game.
Right. They also make. They are also the company that owns Rockstar.
Oh, that's right. And BioShock, so I think.
And BioShock, and
so they own a lot of good IPs. So I mean, $400 million for Borderlands IP
Red Dead. Yeah,
that's a good. I
think it's a nice little profile game that you can just add to the profile games that you have.
If they get profits from the movie now, probably not.
No, that's already the movie's already shot and ready to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, good for them. I see a ton of more divestitures from the Embracer group. They haven't really released anything. They're not managed well. I think there's going to be mass exodus.
People hate that group. So
well, but they bought all these games, and then they butchered the publishing arm. I think the next one should and probably will be Crystal Dynamics, and I think Xbox would be super smart to buy them. I mean, it's not going to be expensive, and then you get the IPs. I mean,
they're good. They're a good studio too. They have a good engine.
They're fantastic. I remember when I was at South by a couple years ago, whenever the first Tomb Raider came out.
Oh yeah.
And they're talking about how they made new instruments to create sound,
and sound, and like the whole,
just like the music. They made new instruments for the music too. So
that was also the craziest. Like Uncharted ended up picking up like their death sequences because they were just so intense when you failed, and you watched her get crushed by rocks or any number of things. Although I was like, God dang. Like you don't want to die.
They don't let you just die. They let you die in an embarrassing fashion.
Yeah, like glorious fashion. But that's it. That's really just a news update. So, and we'll kind of like segue right out of that into was a big conversation for me and Freddie last week. We actually called and talked to each other a lot about this because I was getting hit up in my Discord about it. Everybody was up in arms and super pissed off. Dragon's Dogma 2 had come out. It had just come out, and then when it had launched, it was showcased that there actually were these microtransactions attached to this single player game that everybody assumed was like this sort of pay to win, pay to fast travel deal. And when it turned out like everything that you could pay for was actually in the game. Now, this is an interesting conversation because for me, I was not fazed. Even Carnage wrote a really long tweet about this. Under the guise of like, look, if you're asking me how Dragon's Dogma 2 is, and I echo like his thoughts here, it's an incredible game. It's really good if you like open world RPGs, if you're looking for that sort of Skyrim, Elden Ring exploration style RPG with a really good combat system, like Dragon's Dogma 2 is doing that. But however, if we call them predatory, but I don't feel like they are. Microtransactions are you're against that, then this may not be the game for you because there are microtransactions to get things right before you earn them in game. So to get a port crystal, which you can only buy one and you can only ever carry 10, but that's besides the point. You can buy one, you can buy the fairy stones, you can buy camping kits, you can buy all these things that if you play the game you will unlock, but if you just want them right when it starts, you're more than welcome to purchase that. And this pissed off a ton of people.
Hold on. So like, yes, you can purchase them, and yes, you can earn them, but you're not going to earn. It's one of those gotchas, right? Like you have to carry these stupid stones or crystals or whatever, and they weigh you down, and so look, I understand.
Even if you bought it, it still weighs you down. You don't even get it when you buy it. You actually have to go to the town, go to your I get it, whatever, and grab it.
The whole process is an antique process. Look, at the end of the day, I don't care I don't really care. It's
So
not,
you
it's not
don't
my
care.
type of game.
This doesn't bug you. Like
No,
single
I
player
mean,
microtransactions.
it definitely bugs me. I think if you're gonna if it's a $50 game, then sure. But it's a $70 game. It's a $70 game that is, I mean, for convenience, it's okay. So there's two thoughts here, two what do they call it? Train of thoughts, or not train of thoughts, but whatever. There's you pay, $4 for cosmetic, right? Or you pay $4 for convenience. I think that sure, those are both microtransactions. Cosmetics are a little different because it does diversify you. Where you get to be able to like dress however you want, whatever.
Yeah.
I still think that's stupid too. If you're spending money on that, like good for you, but that's not my jam. I'm a little more frugal. But $4 for fast travel or things like that, that just seems like lazy, uninspired design and a money grab. However you look at it, the game is playable without it. Yes, you're right.
You don't need it.
You don't need it, but it is convenient. And
you earn it within the first 3 hours of the game. So like
you earn how many?
You earn one, and then you continue. And then you can purchase more of the fairy stones in the game.
Yes,
I currently am walking around with 3 that I've earned and 10 fairy stones, and I never use them. So
well, that's you, right? That's you.
But I'm just saying, there's no need to buy it. It's so my thing is like why
it's
I
not
don't
even
care.
about buying it. It's just lazy design. Period. I don't care what you say.
I mean, we could call it that, but like they're not what my argument is they're not the first to do it. I always go to Valhalla, but I think I'm pretty sure it happened.
They had a bunch of free.
It still has the same crap. $20 to open the map or just play the game.
Sure, but that's not the same. That's different than fast travel.
It's the same thing because the opening the map.
No, it's not 100%. 100%.
Yeah, because it provides you the fast travel points and it provides you all the secrets. It's like basically buying a gaming guide, but you can do it.
No, because the difference is that once you open it up. Right. Once you open up that fast travel, it's open forever.
Yeah. Okay. That has nothing to do with microtransactions, though. Completely different conversation.
No. If you're going to say it's convenient, if you're going to say it's convenient,
because you can only carry 10 of them. It doesn't. You don't even get to fast travel when you do it. It is still the same item you earn in the game.
I don't disagree with you. It's just lazy design and a money grab.
Yeah, but again, you're saying the lazy design is how they fast travel. I don't care about that. Like that's just how the game is. That's literally Dragon's Dogma. That's part of its DNA. That's how the first game was.
Because they already have fast travel, but they put it behind a paywall. Period.
No, they didn't.
That's what it is.
It's not behind a paywall. You're not understanding.
I understand. You can earn a crystal to open up one fast travel.
No, like that's not how it works.
At a time.
No, it's not even at a time. Like the way Dragon's Dogma's fast travel works is you have these things called fairy stones. That's one thing. The fairy stone is something if you're out in the world, you throw into the air, you consume it, and you can then fast travel to any town. Let's forget about the port crystals for a second. You throw a fairy stone allows you to then fast travel to any of the crystals that are in the towns. Every town has a crystal. You activate it.
So you need 2 things. You need 2 things.
No, I'm not done here. Well, yeah. Like that's how the base game is. Fairy stones, good God, you get them like all the time. You can get them within the first 10 minutes because like every single vendor on the planet sells them. It's a one and done. In Dragon's Dogma 1, you actually could earn it was called like a eternal fairy stone, so you could fast travel however much you wanted. They removed that from 2. But anyways, I don't actually know if they did because I think you might get it when you beat the game. And it wasn't in Dragon's Dogma until the DLC came out, Dark Arisen. Anyways, so every town has a port in it that you can fast travel to if you are out in the world. As long as you have a fairy stone, you throw that, and then you can go to the towns. What you could buy with real money is another thing you can earn in the game, which is called a port crystal, and you can only carry 10 of these, and you can only buy 1, by the way. If you want to buy the one off the shop, great, you bought it. You can't buy another one. If you want the remaining 9, you still have to play the game. And a port crystal is like So you have to carry it around in your backpack, and let's say you find a dungeon and you're like, oh, you know what? I got this dungeon's got a hard boss in it. I can't beat it. You can put one of those, if you have all 10, one of those 10 down there, and that becomes a place you can then fast travel to. And then, you know, later in the game, you can go back there, kill the boss, pick the crystal back up, put it in your backpack, and carry on with your life. That's how they built fast travel. That's a whole other conversation on whether that's good or not. There are people who love it because it forces this sort of exploration that you don't get in other games, like because you eventually like will fall back on fast traveling back and forth. I am of the opinion, if we're talking about that, I really like the game. I don't, like I said, I have them and I'm not using them because the traveling part feels good because there is such a really good exploration side to that game. But there is a part of me some days where I'm just like, holy crap, I do not want to walk an hour back to town. And if you don't have these items, you can't do it. And it's not the thing, like why it's not a money grab is because if I'm doing that, I'm like, man, I don't have these items. I'm just going to go and buy this thing to save myself the trouble. It still won't work because I could then buy it and I still have to walk my ass all the way to town and sleep in an inn before I ever even get the purchase. So there's literally no benefit to the player to purchase these things. No benefit.
There's no benefit to anybody to purchase anything. Like $70 game should have all the things you need. I don't,
and
especially for a single player.
It 100% does. You get all the stuff. Okay. See, again, this is not a conversation about microtransactions with you. This is a conversation on you don't like the way Dragon's Dogma does fast travel.
No. It is about microtransactions because microtransactions when it comes to video games have always been popular in multiplayer games because you get to diversify your character. Blah, blah.
So explain to me what about Dragon's Dogma's microtransactions are any different than what Assassin's Creed is doing, because they do not affect you as a player whatsoever.
I mean, I think it's different because it's not absolutely necessary at all.
Yeah, they're not necessary. Yeah, you don't need them.
But this game, I mean, but this game it's okay. So you want to compare these two games, right? These two games are not comparable, not remotely comparable. Valhalla and Dragon's Dogma
the reason I'm comparing them is because one is like the allure of Dragon's Dogma, right? Is this idea of how hard it is to fast travel and whether or not you want to use that or not. Whereas like the big thing of an Assassin's Creed game is this like humongo map that you go and actively find stuff in and figure out these secrets. And in both of these games, you can go like, you know what? Right from the start of the game, I want a port crystal that I can put down anywhere. And you know what?
But for the port crystal, you have to actually go to the place, right? You have to go to the place.
What do you mean?
Right? Like if you want to travel to the other side of the map.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah. I'm just saying like in order of the activity, you can carry it. But
you have to go to the place. You have to carry it with you. You have to go to the place, drop it. Right. So it's not convenient, not even remotely.
Again, no, but that doesn't have anything to do about a microtransaction because microtransactions.
It does.
No, because they don't make it any easier. There's nothing you're purchasing that's making things easier.
It does make it easier. How does it not make you fast traveling from one side of the map to the other is not convenient?
No, but you can't pay for that in Dragon's Dogma is what I'm saying. That doesn't
you can.
No, you can't. That's what you're missing.
You can't go buy a crystal.
Nope. You can only buy a port crystal that you have to put in your backpack.
No, I understand that.
Just like the ones you earn.
Yes, you buy the crystal, then you have to walk your happy ass to the place, drop the crystal, throw the fairy dust, do a little dance.
Do a dance, and then you can fast travel. And this is assuming that you haven't already, like you bought it. You're like, hell yeah, dude, I'm buying the one I can buy off the store. I've got it. I got it in my backpack. Within 4 hours of playing that game, you're going to be like, oh, I just earned one. Now you have two. Like, congratulations on spending the $2 for the one that you may or may not
$4.
use. Whatever it was. Like, you're going to realize I did not need to buy this.
I don't think I think it's different. I think I get what you're saying. I don't think they're
I'm just saying like, and then Assassin's Creed is like find the map stuff, and if you like, you know what, I don't want to find the map stuff, you can pay like it's like $15 and the map's open for you.
Yeah, but it's a first off, like Valhalla is not a normal game, right? Like I
think you can do it in every Assassin's Creed though. And not only can you buy that crap with Assassin's Creed,
because they've only done this thing.
No, I think it's an Odyssey too, or at least I know you. It's 100% pay to win because you can buy horses and gear, and it's an RPG. You can't buy gear in Dragon's Dogma. I can go buy a pip set.
But Valhalla is a better game.
Yeah, that's not the point. The point is
It
the
is- it is-
microtransaction. See, this whole conversation is
I don't-
talking to
but here's
someone
the
who
thing,
just doesn't like the way Dragon's Dogma does fast travel, and I
Well,
respect your opinion
I
because
just
you
don't.
know what?
So,
There's a lot of people who are gonna play that game and be like, "Oh, oh, cool, man! Like, I just found this cool cave. Like, oh crap, I'm full. I'm gonna go back to town. I don't have a fairy stone. How do I get back to town? Yeah, bro, you're gonna have to walk your happy ass to town.
You have to walk
Or
your happy ass.
You're gonna have to go find another town, and you can ride an ox. You can ride ox carts, like, but that only goes from one place to another place, and it may or may not be going where you want it to go.
You don't even get a horse. You don't even get a horse,
no
Brian.
horse.
Okay.
No horse.
Yeah, like get out of here. Get out of here.
Game of the year,
You know
dude.
what? You know what? Game. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know what? If I was them, you know, I'll do like a $15 horse. I
See,
guarantee
that would
sounds-
be bad. That would be malicious. That would not be good.
I mean, $4 for a crystal, $15 for a horse.
But my point is, the argument I'm having is what I had with a Surfer 2 in our Discord is like, if this is bad, then what Valhalla does is bad. Like, we can't just
They're not the
call
same.
Dragon's Dogma. Yeah, they're single player games with microtransactions. So if we're gonna say one single player game has microtransactions and it sucks, then every single game with microtransactions all suck. Are all
No, that's
pay
not
to
how that
win.
works though, because some games actually give you so much value in the game itself at $70 that you may be able.
There's tons of value. There's over 100 hours of video game in Dragon's Dogma 2. So
There's like 500 hours of video game in Valhalla. Like, it's insane.
There's probably
And free stuff.
it is a $70 game through and through, 100%. There's no doubt on that. It's a huge video game.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
huge.
sorry. If it's 100 hours and I have to ride a ox or
Yeah,
walk
you just
the
don't
entire
like the
way-
travel. That's a objective opinion, which I completely.
No, I think that
it's
is not objective. I think
that is not subjective, dude.
it's objective.
That's
You're
you
right.
not
subjective.
liking something. Oh wait. Am I?
Yeah,
am I
you can't-
fucking that up? Oh. Am I arguing with myself right now? Yes,
you
that's
are.
a subjective
You are
opinion,
correct.
which is fine. Like, I completely can understand that's not for you. But at the
Look,
end of the
at the end of the
day,
day, I get what you're saying. To me, I don't spend any money. Once I buy a game, unless I'm not like you. You are.
well, I don't purchase the transactions in single player games.
You have. You bought gear before.
Oh, I mean, in Assassin's Creed games. I
Yeah.
have.
Okay. Yeah. Well, is that not a multi? Is that a?
It
I mean,
is, and I
make
hate
up your
them.
mind, bro.
I hate them for it because it's.
You
as a
still
matter of
buy
fact,
it.
I do.
You don't
and I
need to
hate
buy it, and it's
Okay.
not convenient.
Damn you, Freddie. I hate it. I hate it, though. And I hate it because those are hard not to buy because the gear is, I'm like, that's
They're
really
not
cool.
that hard. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, when I invest in a game, I'm like, damn, that sword and that outfit and like the bonuses I'm getting are all really good. And it's really crappy to me that you can't earn that stuff. That's where I cross the line where I'm like, why isn't this earnable?
So for me, like, I don't care. I mean, the game,
dude,
if the game
dress up
itself
is a
is
whole other game. Okay, dude. Like playing dress up in video games is like the greatest thing on the planet.
That's
why,
what.
like,
Yeah, I
I
remember
get
how much
super angry.
silver you spent.
Yeah, in Destiny?
In Destiny. Oh
if
my
I
gosh.
compile the amount of money I have spent in the store in Destiny, I could be like, I probably have like 10 grand in my pocket right now. God knows how much money.
I'm in the mindset of like the
I just
outfit
bought
doesn't change the game.
$299 version of Destiny so I could have the tower. So I am part of the
You are
problem.
the person. Yeah, you're the person that they cater all this garbage to. They're like, well, who's buying this? It's Brian. Brian buys all the nonsense. He's like, oh, look.
But that's my argument is I am.
You don't even get a disc. You know that, right? There's no disc for Destiny 2.
I don't want the disc. I just want the cool tower looking thing.
For $300.
$300. Give it to me. I'm gonna
That
put
Summer
it right here.
and Sienna are probably gonna break.
Probably.
Yeah. Anyways.
And that's good to know, to understand my opinion, which is I don't care about transactions in any game, because if somebody is purchasing them, then great for that person. And there's like really funny memes on this stuff now too, like the ones that give you the full map or the gear, the in-game gear before anyone else can get it. You know, have you seen this? And it's like two people meet up and she's like, where'd you get that gear? And he's like, oh, I purchased this. And she's like, I farmed 200 hours. And he's like, I worked 40 hours a day for 52 days out of the year or whatever, and I earned it like a whole different way. And I'm like, and I'm the same mindset as like, you know what? If you make the money and you have disposable income and you want to spend it on buying the in-game gear well before anyone else can get there, then kudos to you, dude. Like,
So I am in the mindset of like people are their own people, and like I said, I don't buy any of that shit. I play the game, I like it. I don't think I've ever spent any money in game ever.
I don't think you have either.
I don't. It's not my thing. Like, why am I going to spend money on like not tangible things?
Would you
right?
own a free to play game?
I would probably. I haven't, but I
think
would.
people are more disposed to like, oh, you know what? That's a cool skin. I got this game for free.
It depends. It depends on how good the actual game is, and if I see myself playing it for a while. So like that's kind of the other side of it too. Is like, you know, I'm already paying $60 for a game, $70 for a game.
Wait, you've never bought anything off Call of Duty? You bought in the Battle Pass before.
I guess the Battle Pass, but that was like the most recent one. That was the first time I've ever bought a Battle Pass. I was like, okay,
let's just be real too. All this bullshit, it's 100% came from mobile games.
Call of Duty. Yeah, Call of Duty and Destiny. Those are the big.
Well, no, I'm just saying. I like the big push in like is mobile gaming, because mobile gaming is chock full of battle passes and and all sorts of just
not just battle passes. People buy and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars.
I mean, the amount of money Diablo Immortal has made on mobile,
it's insane.
Which is all just.
I mean, that's what people don't understand what Microsoft did. They went out and basically created a gaming arm in mobile overnight.
Yeah. And
it's
that's
insane.
where the money is.
It just prints money. It prints money, and it is actually more predatorial because
it's 100%. Yeah.
You know who has every single kid that's between 10 and whatever
a cell phone
has and their parents give them their credit cards. Here you go.
There's no oversight on mobile games like there is.
No. I mean, there is
oversight right now on like console and PC gaming with the Gamba stuff than there is on mobile, which is full of predatory transactions.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I remember reading about a kid that like spent $10,000 on gear in Call of Duty.
Wait, is that the one that the video is like his parents are beating the crap out of him in the gaming studio?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, they found out. They're just like beating him to death.
they're like, what? $10,000? Like, yeah, but you know, and it's the same thing with like loot boxes and all the other stuff. But
so can we agree then that this shit's not going to go anywhere? I mean, I dropped an S word there. My bad, y'all. But I'm just saying, like in general, like I get the arguments and I hear people, and you can scream as loud as you want. No, I'm not going to repeat it.
Did you say the poopy word?
Yeah, I did. I said the poopy word.
We can say the poopy word. It's okay.
We can say okay. Well, then, you know, cool. I just want to say this. I think people hate this opinion, and I'm like, I get it. You don't want it in your games. You just need to get used to it, because it's just people spend, regardless of what you think about it. There are way more, or there's enough of me out there spending this money that it's just not going to go away. It's not going to.
Well, but I agree, and also we'll put a caveat. I think it's going to be fine as long as it doesn't affect the actual game. If once it starts affecting the game,
then
like
it's a problem.
You can only get a horse by spending $15 plus paying $70. I think it goes into the into anti-consumer lawsuits and stuff like that. Anti-competitive lawsuits, not competitive, but like at the end of the day, you're spending. So let me ask you.
I'm gonna say pay to win. Pay to win is gonna stay. What people phrase pay to win, it's just not going anywhere. People are gonna buy the gear that you have to earn, as long as it's single player. If it becomes multiplayer, because Call of Duty is kind of like that. Call of Duty has you can only get this blueprint if you're part of the but
whatever.
You could make your own gun that's close to this, but or just fast track it, spend the $15 and get the cool SMG.
So let me ask you this: would you rather spend another $25 on the game to make it? Or $30 on a game.
This is the question. Yeah,
$100,
like $100.
Get everything.
Yeah,
everything. Or would you rather have the option?
Well, I would say on single player games, I would pay the $100. That's a hard question. It would have to be like I wouldn't pay $100 for a single player game that nets me like a Spider-Man, right? I'm like, that's 20 hours for $100. Like, I'm sorry it took you 300 million to make it. I don't see that value there. I'm like, what did you spend 300 million on? Like, this game is like so short and like in the grand scheme of things. But if we're talking like fully fleshed out, like this Assassin's Creed, Dragon's Dogma, Elden Ring style games.
Let's just say Valhalla.
I would pay $100 to get all this stuff. 100%.
Yeah.
Even if
I
it
think
was
that's-
like, here's $70 for the game, and so you could like, which they kind of do this, and then you could spend $20 and you get all the extra stuff. Like I'd be like, cool, I'll pay the 100 and I'll just get everything. Like I always go that route.
I mean, especially if you're gonna. The only downside really is like, what if the game sucks?
Yeah,
right?
that's refunds should go like Steam. I mean, if they want to do that, like you get 2 hours with the game. If you don't like it, you're guaranteed a refund.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's. I think we beat this horse to death. So let's pivot.
No, I have one more pivot. Not a pivot. Before we pivot, I will say what I wanted to say is I would do that, and I would love to see more stuff like Suicide Squad, doing like what Marvel Rivals is doing, and some of these other games go free to play, and I would give you hundreds of dollars in your microtransactions store. Like I would honestly, I would.
It depends on the game, though.
If it's good, if it's good, and I'm logging into it, I think you're set up like a Fortnite to make way more money if that's just free to play with a microtransaction store.
But you have to look at these games though. Like I've played a few of these free to play games, and they're fun momentarily. They're not long-term investments.
That's why the big ones stick, like Fortnite, Overwatch, Call of
but
Duty.
even Fortnite doesn't really have a story. It's just boom, you're in. It's like a Warzone, right? It's not you have a story. You go in. It's a multiplayer game. I think that
well, that's where people will buy skins though, because like, look, I get to look like Wolverine.
Yeah, of course, or Homer Simpson or whatever. Halo, you can play as Master Chief. Which I think is pretty cool. No, anyways. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I don't think microtransactions is going to go anywhere. I think that once it becomes more predatory and they're expecting you to pay more for it, then it's going to hurt the gaming industry. I think it hurts.
Yeah.
So
that's why I'm going to end on a positive note, and I'm gonna throw an advertisement in for my top 20 game. I really can't put it in my top 10. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League, dropping the Joker season 1 this week. Very exciting. Granted, they probably just killed all of their hype because it's in an 8-hour-long maintenance for some reason right now, so it's still not out. People have been waiting. But what's really cool, what I want to mention,
all 4 of them.
Yeah, all 4. No, actually, what's really crazy is small streamers like on YouTube. There's a guy named like Jay Shockblast or something. He plays the game. He had like 4,000 people watching him this morning. They were all ready to go. And then he was eventually like, I have to log off. Because WB does an awful job keeping comms up. And they've only done one update in 8 hours. And so everybody was like, I'm logging off. Like, this is insane. And that's a lot of people watching, like waiting to see if Joker's good and if they should turn their game back on, and they just lost that audience. Anyways,
or even potentially buying the game, right?
Yeah, I don't want to be negative. I wanted to end on a positive, and the positive on that is that it's coming out. And what's really cool, what they did is they have a battle pass. You pay $10 and you can get it. There's no FOMO. So it never goes away throughout the entire year, assuming this game lasts that long. You can continually work towards finishing this battle pass. And what's really cool is if you do the whole thing, you actually earn enough currency to buy the next one. So for $10, if you put the time in, you could actually purchase every single battle pass for the rest of the year. So the next 3 for free.
And that's how Call of Duty does it too, though.
Call of Duty doesn't net you the exact amount to purchase the next year's battle pass.
It does.
Are you sure of this?
The entire if you beat the entire thing from 1 to whatever 31 or whatever it is, you get the currency. It automatically opens up for you. But you have to beat if you miss it by 1, you have to pay the difference.
I gotcha.
But anyways,
that's a good system. So if people do more stuff like that, that's pretty cool, because then you purchase one and it rewards you for your playtime. Because you're like, look, if I invest in this game, then I can get next seasons for free. Well, so the difference between Call of Duty, so they do that, but like the difference is it goes away. Suicide Squad doesn't. So like it's forever. So like,
well, forever could be tomorrow.
Yeah, could be tomorrow. At this rate, they still. I've been looking at Twitter, still no update, and we are on 12:30, and this game went down at 5 a.m. for maintenance. So I have no idea what they're doing.
That's just bad. It's just bad management.
It's so bad.
Okay, so
what do we? Now I have the next thing for you, because this is I was real happy about, just to bring up to you, throw it into your face.
Okay.
All right. That was aggressive. Helldivers 2. I mean, Helldivers 2. God dang it. Hellblade 2. Freddie was telling me about this game. He's like, oh, man, who knows? Could be game of the year. We'll see. I said, no way, especially at a game that's going to be that small. It is now almost it's all been but confirmed that Hellblade 2 is going to be a cinematic story that is 8 hours. That is it. That is a small game, dude.
No. It's 8 to 10 hours.
It's been confirmed.
Where?
Looking at it right now.
Show me. Where?
Visual fidelity. Hellblade 2 is a cinematic story-based title that will take approximately 8 hours to beat. Many have complained that it is too short.
That's old news.
He's putting this is 58 minutes ago, and he's comparing it though because he's like The Quarry, another story-based game, took 9 hours to beat. No one complained about its length though. And Hellblade is only $49, where The Quarry is $69. So he's basically saying, shut up. The value you're getting is going to be even better.
God, yeah. And that price point is like,
it's great.
I mean,
but I just wanted you to know that I was right. It's a small game. It's like an 8-hour game.
I mean,
which I figured, because they said it's about as long as the first one, and the first one took me like 7.5 hours to beat. If you put it on easy, you can comb through the game.
Yeah, I usually put it on normal because I'm a man, but
I don't. I put it on easy because I play too many games.
But again, you have to think about value and what you're talking about. Like, I mean, let's just say
there's no world where that's game of the year, but I'm sure it's going to be incredible.
I mean, it won a bunch of awards. The first one did. I mean,
yeah, it'll win some awards.
How long was the regular campaign for Spider-Man 2?
25, roughly 18 to 20, something like that. That never had a chance of winning though.
Yeah, but 12 to 15 hours. Just story.
Is the story 12 to 15? Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. You said Spider-Man 2.
Yes, Spider-Man 2. 12 to 15, $70 game.
It never had a chance of winning, though.
But it was nominated.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure this will get nominated, but it's not going to win.
I mean, it may win. You never know. I mean, the only reason I even brought it up as a possibility is because when Unreal Engine uses that game as their flagship, this is what this engine can do.
What resolution and what's the performance? Because we've already seen Unreal 5 in a couple of games, and it does not. Right.
The difference is those studios don't have the dedicated studio from Xbox. What are they called? The folks from Gears. What are they called? The
Coalition.
Coalition is there. They are literally the most expertise.
Well, yeah, they've been using Unreal. Since Gears 1, I think, was like Unreal, literally Unreal 1 or Unreal 2.
So they are the ones that have full ownership, and they actually work with.
Yeah, but in terms of an engine, are you not like concerned for Mass Effect, Dragon Age, all these games that are using it? I mean, I thought the cool thing about Unreal 5 was that it was going to offer developers like all this stuff, but it seems like it's like killing computers.
Well, I think what happens is, and this is just my speculation, but I think what's happening is you're bringing old assets into a new system is what it is. So like if you built the game from the ground up in Unreal from the get-go, Unreal 5.2 or whatever, I think it maybe has a better.
It has changed too. Like we haven't seen anything from. I mean, they've updated it, right? So,
but it's only been, that engine officially came out whenever the Matrix Reloaded, or whatever. Right. That was like what, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Yeah. So all these games that are coming out in Unreal are games that were built in Unreal 4 that were
and ported. Yeah.
Ported into, which means that utilization, optimization, all that stuff is going to be shitty. Just how it is. I mean, it might be able to. It might be able to bring the game up to the level of visual fidelity, but performance is going to be shit because it wasn't built that way.
Yeah, we were actually talking about Immortals in that because we were both surprised that on console that game is 720p.
720p on PlayStation 5.
That should have just been Unreal 4. Like they should have never gone to
720p upscaling is going to look like dog water, dude. Like what?
We'll find out April 2nd. Download it for free on PlayStation.
On PlayStation Plus. No, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I think, we'll see. I personally don't. I like the first one a lot. I thought it was really interesting. I played with the headphones.
Good game.
The headphones with the little.
Yeah. Oh, it's creepy too.
And if we'll see how if it performs, if it actually pulls off what it's been trying to tell everybody for the last 6 years.
I know that game has been like promoted for a very long time.
I really like that studio though, because they also making a game called Project Mara. I don't know if you've heard of it, but
no. Well, I think that was just showcasing the face tag.
No. That's different. It's a whole game. They built it's a game that has the highest video game fidelity ever shown.
Oh, okay.
It's I don't know when it's gonna come, but that's the next game they're coming out with. And yeah. Anyways, so I'm gonna pivot I'm gonna switch it up a little bit
Where are you taking
and
me?
talk about. I'm gonna take you to Xbox. I'm gonna talk
That's
to
good.
you about
I've got something up on Xbox right now.
what they're talking about, what the Phil Spencer said, which was I thought was really interesting, which was that he would like to add more stores to the Xbox ecosystem.
What stores are
which,
we talking about, Freddie? What stores?
I mean, I'm thinking it was like Aeropostale. I think you can go buy clothes. No, it's Steam
and
Epic
Epic.
Store.
Yeah, that's
And
huge.
so like, if that happens, I think it definitely makes Xbox I don't know, man, it changes the game. I really think if this happens.
What's really interesting is it's literally just popped up on my Twitter about that right after that was announced. Like PlayStation announced that was supposed to be an exclusive to them is now coming to Xbox.
What game?
I didn't even know this was a game, but it's called Predator Hunting Grounds. It is a multiplayer. Yeah, it's publisher and made by PlayStation Studios and Sony Interactive Entertainment. And they like right after this Microsoft thing about Steam and all this, they put on their Twitter, hey, by the way, Predator Hunting Grounds is going to be coming to Xbox Series X and S and PlayStation 5 in late 2024.
I mean, I've been telling all you fanboys on Twitter, you guys are all wrong. Sony is going to follow suit with Xbox because if there's money to be made, they all want a piece of it. And I love proving Brian wrong, but the rumors are right. There is Phil Spencer wants.
No, don't talk about the stupid handheld.
He wants a handheld because
Gen Z. Then I would be right because finish your sentence.
Okay, all right.
I always interrupt you.
This whole thing about the whole reason this is happening is like it's about our generation. We're old effers now, right? So apparently we're no longer the cool kids buying video games.
Hey, I have the money to buy the video games, so you should be kidding me.
That's what I'm saying. Like I have the money. Give me my games. But so they're going after the Gen Z, and Gen Z has a very particular way to play, and I appreciate it, and I think it's the future, which is interesting because I hate Gen Z. But I don't hate you guys. You're just
if anyone's listening from Gen Z, we love you all.
Yeah, but they are right. They want to be able to play wherever they are, whenever they are, however they are. Like that's what Xbox is doing, and I think that's where the industry is going to head.
That's hard if you also care about fidelity and frames, though. It's like so hard.
It depends, though, right? Because you will give up some of the fidelity and some of that frame for mobility and convenience.
Well,
just like
then I was right too.
No, you're never right.
I assume if you're gonna put. I mean, you still told me no on this, and I can't remember why. But if you're going to put Steam on the Xbox, then why would you go and make your own hardware and not just partner with Steam on a Steam Deck 2, since it's already a good handheld?
Two things. We already talked about this, and I just want to reiterate that you're wrong. The reason they would not do that, Steam Deck is made for Steam, and they have ways to play the Game Pass, but Steam makes money. How, Brian? I've asked this question several times.
Yeah, I know, but like if it's on Xbox now, then why
it's
would
different.
You just?
It gives Steam owners an avenue to play their games, or Xbox owners the avenue to buy games from Steam instead of Xbox or.
But if they partnered with them to give them the opportunity.
It would have to be Steam saying, "Hey, Xbox, sure, we'll let you have."
Well, maybe that's the partnership, though. Like that's what I'm saying. Maybe Xbox is like, look, I'll put you on my console if I love your hardware on what you did with the Steam Deck. What if we partner with Intel, change some things up, and make Steam Deck 2 like insane, and it launches with both Steam and Xbox?
Steam Deck 2 is already coming out. Like it's ready. Schedule. But I think the reason I think is I think Xbox wants to have a separate, they want to do not just Steam, but Epic Store. They want to have multiple stores available to them, and then the other thing too is like, if you think about how Xbox is constructed, it's running a modified version of Windows.
No, I know.
What is that? Well, sorry, right. But what does that mean, right? On your, right now, if you have Steam, you pull up an Xbox controller.
No, I mean,
every single game.
I understand why you'd want it. I mean, my argument is still just like you just have really stiff competition because the Steam Deck is, in my opinion, like the best handheld out there, like by a wide margin.
And it's debatable. There's the Logitech one and the whatever.
Yeah, there's like a couple of others, but for price and performance, it's like
It depends. It depends what Xbox comes out with, right?
Well,
I
yeah.
mean, so we'll see. I mean, handheld is interesting.
And why pay for the hardware too, though? That's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't like, it's kind of like the conversation we had with like hardware stuff. Like, why invest in hardware when you could just say like, hey, let's partner, and because all anybody wants is the ability to play Xbox games on the go.
They don't. I think the problem is that Steam is an independent company, and if they partner up with Xbox, that minimizes competition, and it would, the FCC or would look into it and be like, why is the number 3 meeting, combining forces with the number 1 in PC sales?
Well, how do you not have that though if they put a Steam app on the Xbox?
Well,
like,
because
how is that not the same?
Because it's different, because Xbox is not going to the number 1. Number 1 is going to the Xbox. Xbox is not going into the PC sector. The PC sector is going into the Xbox. Xbox is in third place. Steam's number 1, right? Like that's how you have to look at it. I mean, you
still wouldn't be able to, I'm assuming, play games that are PC only.
No, you could. Why wouldn't you?
Xbox. Well, because a lot of those games like don't even like work well with controllers a lot of times. Like, if you're using it, it's like some user created controller interface, etc. Right? Like Last Epoch and stuff like that. Like, I mean, it works well with the controller. I use one, but I mean that's because like somebody else like generated that kit.
Right. I mean, that's what Xbox would probably do, is have a emulator on there.
Oh, it froze.
They'll figure. Yeah, your camera got hot. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, I don't think that it's a bad idea. I think mobile gaming is such a phenomenon and makes so much money that I think Xbox would be stupid not to go into that space. I mean, you look at the Switch, right? Switch is underpowered, but there's a couple of things that it has in its favor, right? A library of games that people absolutely adore and love, and then the convenience of being able to pick up and go, right? That was the big seller.
That's where you lose me. I fundamentally hate mobile gaming, and I've tried. I've tried.
Yeah,
but I've tried all.
Yeah, but you're in the minority, bud. You're in the minority.
I don't see people when I walk around just jamming on mobile games, though. Outside of things like Candy Crush and what's that farm one that everybody loves?
No, people play. I mean, Call of Duty on the phone has like 300 million people playing it.
Well, no, I mean, I obviously know people play it. I'm just saying, like, I just don't feel like I don't walk around and see it. I don't see it happening.
It's a bigger market than all of the console and PC market.
Yeah, I don't know.
300 million people are playing, and it's international too.
Well, how big? The thing is, though, I wonder how big it stays and how much money it makes if the same mandatory restrictions we have on I just lost my voice, on consoles hit mobile. Like, so much of that microtransactions and money making is definitely predatory, and it's on younger people, and there is not the same oversight that there is on consoles. So if that moves over to mobile, I'd be curious to know like how much that cuts into the profit margins.
So in January, in January of 2024, so 1 month, the day it opened, Call of Duty, it made $27.37 million in 1 month. It's on track to make since January, so we're in 3 months in, it is at $1.4 billion.
Just but see how much, I'm sure the console version's made more than that.
No, in the last 3 months, no.
You sure? I mean,
you're telling me it made?
Is that just mobile?
Just mobile, yeah. I mean, I'll send you the link. Yeah, here you go. Call of Duty Mobile is free to play first-person shooter released on Android and iOS in October 2019. The game has enjoyed a great success.
It's 2003. I hate how hard it is to find these things, but in 2003, Call of Duty made $31 billion on consoles.
Yeah, but not the first. This is the first 3 months, dude.
I mean, $31 billion over a year. I mean, that's a lot of money.
There's no way it made $31 billion in a year.
That's what it says. $31 billion. That was in 2003.
That's a long time ago, bud.
I know. I'm trying to. You know how hard it is to find these things.
But here, so this right here. So in January 2024, the title generated approximately $27 million, and then the game has grossed since then, which is roughly almost 4 months, 1.4 billion for a game that's a mobile game that
Well,
you know, like
I mean, this is all I can find. Franchise reach, so Call of Duty lifetime sales, lifetime series unit sales is 425 million, and the mobile's 4 million. So I mean, there's mobile hasn't been out as long, but there's clearly like a much larger reach. I mean, Warzone alone has 100 million people playing it. So
yeah,
4 million to 100 million. There's
4
definitely
million
more.
what? What are you talking about?
The Call of Duty mobile downloads is 4.57 million.
On what?
It's just I guess on both. It's just an aggregate.
Let's see.
And then Call of Duty Warzone, Call of Duty Warzone player count as of April 2021 was 100 million.
No,
players.
dude, you're way off. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. Call of Duty Mobile has been downloaded over 500 million times.
That doesn't mean there's 500 million players, though.
Yes, but 500 million times. 500 million since October 2020, October of 2019.
Okay, so, I mean, that's really not that much.
500 million downloads?
500 million since 2019?
5 years?
There's been more than 500 million downloads of the console game, dude, since then, like way more.
500 million? Are you out of your mind? Do you know what that number is?
100%. Yeah, I do. But we're talking the console games, dude. The Call of Duty is the number one selling game every year, which is about.
There's no way it sold 500 million copies, dude. Are you out of your mind? 500 million?
If we're talking about every Call of Duty game since, let's see.
No, 2019.
As of April 2021, so this is 2 years later, it has sold 400 million copies. So it most definitely has eclipsed 500 million.
Okay, well, I guess whatever. It's
and
still
that's
500
verified
million
by the Guinness Book of World Records as the best-selling first-person shooter game series of all time.
Okay, I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying this is a mobile game that's been out, and 500 million people. It's a free to play. And it's making money left and right. I'm just saying mobile is not a fad, is what I'm saying.
I didn't say that either. I just said I hate it.
You were saying.
I said I hate it. I just said I don't understand it because I don't see people. I hear everybody does it, and obviously there's a lot of money in it because you see it. I just don't know where it is.
People do it. Yeah, people do it at home. Some those games. I mean, why would it's not a game you play like Call of Duty Mobile. You're not going to sit there on campus while you're walking and playing Call of Duty Mobile, right? That's not a game you play. I mean,
but that's also probably easy. I mean, like I can see why. There's clearly more people with cell phones than consoles. You don't have to buy a piece of hardware to play the game. I mean, that's easy entry point right there. You know, everybody buys a new phone. You know what? Probably every 2-3 years, maybe. I wonder what that average is. Can you even hear me? You probably can't even hear me. He just randomly got up and walked away to go do something. I don't even know what.
I can hear you.
He can hear me. Okay. Well, I'm just curious. Yeah, like so yeah. I mean, like, what would you wager I don't know. Maybe we say every 3 to 4 years someone buys a new phone.
Yeah, I mean, people buy phones all the time, dude.
Right. So the entry point is super easy because like you just got it right there.
This is what a lot of people have. Like they'll have this. Right. This. And so you can go and play Call of Duty with a thumbstick and just slaughter people. Same thing with Warzone. All these games, you can get.
I just don't. I'd rather just. But I mean, those people probably. What I'm saying is, I'm making a mass assumption here, but those people probably don't have consoles, so they're playing on their cell phones.
I mean, that's not true.
Or PCs.
It's convenient.
Like, why would you have? Like, why would you be at home? Still, why would you be at home on your cell phone and not just grabbing a joystick and playing on your console if you had one? It's way more convenient to just turn your console on and look at your TV than it is to whip up your phone and burn your phone battery.
Or you're in bed and you want to play and they don't want to buy a Steam Deck for $500.
I mean, I understand that. That's why that ridiculous PlayStation hardware sold so well, even though it does nothing.
It does nothing. But that's what I'm saying. It's like it's a convenience and it's free to play. And there's lots of free to play. And like, I don't even know
where this argument is going. I don't think it's going away, but I don't think. Like, you're not going to see some tectonic shift away from console PC gaming to all of a sudden just mobile gaming.
No, I'm not saying that's the case. I'm saying that there's going to be a bigger concentrate on mobile because there's more people that have mobile phones than consoles. And so mobility means accessibility, which means more money. You can have, think about the fact that yes, they sold $500 million copies of Call of Duty on console.
This just
But
sounds like you're
also,
again pitching why Microsoft wants a handheld.
no, I'm pitching
Is that your
that's
argument?
no. My argument is the gaming industry has to diversify everything to make it
Yeah,
to
but there
become
already are
profitable.
like I guess what I'm saying is Naughty Dog's not making a mobile game.
You
Like
don't know that.
that's not like maybe a subdivision of it, but the best people you're not going to see like Naughty Dog just came out with Last of Us Part 3 mobile only. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
But I guarantee you, like they're considering right now. They're considering, hey, what if we made a mobile game
No, they're
for
not.
Helldivers? I guarantee you they are.
Yeah, I mean, maybe somebody is, and they'll take like 10 people and throw them over there to do it.
No,
I
dude, there's so much money. It prints money. Mobile games print money.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. If it
Dude,
continues to print money, like
King,
if we,
one game,
I know, so
one
yes,
game,
that's
King.
great. Yes, predatory out the ass, and there's no oversight on mobile gaming. There's not. There's literally no oversight.
Yeah,
so
I know.
What happens? I mean, surely if you're making a game, you got to think like, how long can we ride the wave until someone puts oversight on it? And then like,
there's
what
oversight.
happens?
There's oversight in the EU, right? There's oversight elsewhere, but I don't think it's gotten better. But
it's still still the worst and most predatory place is mobile gaming. It's just it's just a known
because
thing.
it's free to play. Free to play generally is like regardless of where
this is also true.
That's the point of it. Hey, free to play. Hey, come. Here's a little crack. Free.
Yeah. Now, do you want another bump? You got to give me $1.
Yeah, I mean that's
look. It's only $1 every hour.
You lost your hearts. You want more hearts? It's $1.
It's like, you know what mobile
ads.
gaming is? Mobile gaming is, look, man, it's only 50 cents every hour for the first 24 hours. Then it's just $1. No biggie. And then after 3 months, it's $10. All right. And then it's just like, it keeps compiling. Next thing you know, you spend $100.
It's like when you go to the casino and it's like, oh, cool. I'm gonna play blackjack with this 25-cent table.
25-cent table. Yeah.
And you don't know what the time just flies by. They keep throwing you drinks.
And now you're at the $10 table.
Yeah. I'm like, what? I was, I had like $1,000. Like, man, I'm kicking ass. And then they changed the sign without telling you. Like, it's $10 now. And then you throw the same chips, and they're like, "Hey, you need to everything's double." And I'm like,
"It's double now, dude."
And I'm like, shit." So,
I mean,
anyways,
I know that's the only reason why I can't get into it either, because I don't like I know I'm a guy who buys microtransactions, so I stay the F away from mobile gaming. Like the little bit of Diablo's Immortal I played every day, I'd be like, "Ooh, that's a cool outfit." I'm like, "No," and I put it away because I was like, "It's an addiction."
Let me just tell you something. My wife's friends, they don't have consoles, but they mobile game. Each secretly from each other, each spent $500.
I mean, I believe it
on Diablo Immortal.
It feels good. You're like, ooh, special. I mean,
$500, $1,000 in a household, and they're like, I don't know why we're broke. And I'm like, maybe you just spent $1,000.
You don't spend it in one go either. You're like, oh man, that's a cool outfit. $10. I got $10, but that times 50. You're like, holy shit! I just spent $5,000. Like,
I was like,
I think I just did. I think I did math right there. I have no idea, but that's how it happens. That's what happens to me. That's why I stopped playing Call of Duty. I actually don't mind Call of Duty, but if I play Call of Duty, you sit at that stupid store every time you log in, and I'm like, it's a cool gun. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, it's $10, whatever. And then I'm like, why am I spending all this money on a game I play like maybe 5 hours?
So what you're telling me is you have zero self-control.
No, and that's what all those mobile people don't have either, though. And that's where microtransactions suck. It's like, if you have the money, it can be hard to be like,
I have the money. I don't. But
you don't game as much as those people probably are, right? Like they're not. You're not on it every day.
I play. I mean, I play games, but I'm not like a fanatic to the point where like I love video games and I play them, but I'm not gonna sit there and play 6 hours straight anymore.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like that's where that comes. Like I bought the microtransactions on Diablo 4. I was like, that's a really cool outfit. I want that outfit. Because like I've invested so much time into this game. I like to look cool, And then it sucks. I buy it. I'm like, I look cool. And the other part of my brain is like, why couldn't I just earn this? Like I put so much into this game. Like I should earn the cool outfit. And that's where pulling up microtransactions again, like especially Destiny and stuff, like breaks my heart because I'm like, the coolest stuff you have on offer, I have to pay for it. Like that sucks, and the free track is ugly.
But that's what they do, dude.
That is,
I mean, like
that's what they do. That's just how it is.
And I played Destiny for a long time. And I never bought one. I've looked at it. Oh, that's cool. How much silver? You want me to pay $8 for this?
I mean, Destiny is the king at literally like shady, crappy time gating and everything. And and that's a very mobile. That's a very mobile thing. It's just because it's like, well, people want that hit.
I'm not a big. I don't know. I'm not a big costume wearing fan. That's not.
Yeah, I know.
Anyways, we can pivot away from this. But
hit me with your juicy hot takes. We are at an hour. We actually made it to an hour.
Well, we didn't hit all the topics we were going to talk about.
Just gonna have to do it the next week, man. People got to keep logging in.
Yes, that's true.
It's only $1 for the first week, $5 next week. No big deal.
I think my hot take, and it's going to continue to be my hot take, is I think not mobile, but I think gaming exclusives, which we argued about, regardless of where they're at, I think in the future they'll still be around, but they're going to be far in between. I think that,
man, I will give you a kiss. That comes true. I don't like. I will argue it because I understand the business side of it. I hate exclusive gaming.
The business side has changed though, because the thing is, the console no longer sells the game. It doesn't. The game.
I mean, definitely the numbers are showing that. That's for sure. Because there's not new people coming into video games.
And then you look at the people that have bought the consoles. They play a very specific amount of games.
Right.
And so like your exclusives might bring a couple people in, but it's not the selling point anymore. Right. And so when when you have a game like Spider-Man costing more than the actual film cost,
yeah, that's wild.
And you made less money, right? Like Spider-Man 2, the Spider-Man movie that came out most recently made $1 billion.
Okay, so then when will this happen? I want time. When am I going to wake up one day and go, oh my God, the console war is finally over?
It's not. The console war is never going to be over. But I think Xbox has enough money in their war chest to figure out a game plan that would basically force Sony to play ball.
Oh, okay. Because I agree with.
So I mean, like you just said, Sony's making another game available on Xbox.
Right.
And Xbox is making their games available on PlayStation. And I think it's going to start off with these incremental changes, like, hey, this game's we're going to take this and put it in AI. AI, what do you think, Xbox, and what do you think this game's going to make for us using all the information you've ever, all the information in the world?
They do that in films all the time.
Yeah. No,
like, well before, in case no one knows, film producer history, at least for right now, if you try to make a movie right now, it's not even AI. I mean, people have been doing this forever, but it essentially, before your movie ever even gets made, it goes in front of a whole bunch of people who literally mathematic how much money they think it's going to make, what the drop off is going to be in a week, and out of that, how many theaters they should put it in. All this stuff is decided before fucking ink is ever put to paper. I mean, like it's which is part of the reason why filming now is like such a nightmare, and a lot of things suck because they're usually wrong, but anyways, I would not be surprised to see that start happening in gaming because of how expensive it is to do it.
Yeah, I think that there's going to be a shift from and I'm not saying all exclusives are going to go away, but I think maybe you leave a couple of your flagships, like your Gears, maybe your whatever, or like your The Last of Us.
Yeah.
But then you come out with the, a multiplayer game, right? Like I guarantee you that if
Horizon?
Horizon's a good example, but what's that?
They're supposedly making a multiplayer version of that.
What's the shooter that they had? Killzone. I think if Killzone came out, if they came back and said we're gonna make Killzone or a game like Resistance multiplat,
dude, people would. Oh man,
crazy! Print money because it's a cool story, and I think Sony dropped the ball on those two titles. I think they had the legs. I just think they didn't have the stomach for to battle it out. So I think within the next, I'm gonna say before the end of this generation.
Funny too, they backed out when Halo was like gurgling itself, and I was like, well. You left the genre when Halo was basically losing their ass, but it's too late now. You've already killed your franchise.
they don't have anything in that realm. They don't have the thing about Sony is they
No, they
went
left the shooter realm completely.
Yeah, they left everything but narrative games.
Yeah.
Like literally, they have nothing. If you look at their story, they have
Matter
no.
of fact, I think it's only narrative third-person games too.
Yeah, narrative third-person games. Period.
Is
That's it?
Yeah, I think Horizon third-person.
The newest,
Ghost of
the only.
Last of Us third-person. Uncharted third-person.
Yep.
God of War is third-person. Yeah.
They're all one-dimensional,
yeah.
single-player, third-person games. And then the most recent one was that foam game, right? It's a multiplayer, whatever.
Yeah, the multiplayer thing.
But they don't. And then they have a baseball game that they make, MBL,
yeah, but
whatever.
that ends up on Game Pass, right?
It does, yeah. So like, but what I'm saying is like those games are not gonna be your bread and butter anymore, because it's a very niche market. People want to play multiplayer games. I mean, you might be able to pull off a Ghost of Tsushima, fantastic narrative game, and then add a multiplayer. So that is my hot take. Take that, Surfer.
Cool. Mine. Suicide Squad is totally gonna be successful in 6 months.
Wow. Okay. So which one's more far-fetched, mine or yours?
I have no idea.
You are just FYI, folks. Brian is not paid by anybody to promote these games. He's just a homer.
You would think
he loves the
because
game.
like I was all over Twitter for so long fighting everybody.
I know you were.
And I don't fight people on Twitter, but I was going ham. I was like, I like this game. I don't want it to
people
die.
And everybody's like, dude, it's dead. It's been dead. So
I know.
Anyways, my fatherly advice is holy crap, it goes by quick, man. She is getting big.
She's walking.
More teeth. She's walking. She's pointing. She's being angry that we're not feeding her. Like it goes by quick. Like, oh, you're so cute. And then now she's gonna start talking and my life is gonna be over. So wait
all
the
till
fathers
you get
out there.
School. All this school stuff that's like I'm selling my child to slavery or something. That was probably intense, but I mean it's like so much paperwork. It's insane. Like,
what do you mean?
Sign up, we're putting her in for public school, and it's like I was like literally giving her away. It's like, what's her social? Does she do this? Is her sister in the school? What's her grades? Like, where do you live? Send me your tax form. Do you actually live in your house? Prove it. And I'm like, God dang, this is an intense application, dude, to go into public school.
Okay.
And that's like, I'm not even exaggerating any of that. I had to provide proof I live in my house, which is you either have to provide like your tax, utility. You know, you have to do utility, but then you have to either show your closing documents, a tax receipt. Yeah, man. And then you got to give her social. You have to say whether or not if her sister's in the schools, and if she is, where is she? What school district is she going to? I'm like, oh, it's insane. If she's done any tests, what does that look like? What's her blood type? I mean, they didn't ask that, but I was just like, this is ridiculous.
Close enough. We need a blood sample, please.
Yeah, man, and it was crazy. And I was just like, holy crap, man, this is wild. And that's just to get into public school.
But before I forget, the other thing I want to give out for fatherly advice is if you have decent credit, you can go and add your daughter. My daughter is 1.5 years old, and she has an American Express. So
there you go. It's like that Cat Williams joke. That baby's got a 750 credit score.
It's true. Her credit score is 789. But if you do that long term, she'll be able to afford a house. You know, probably a small, tiny house that's $4.5 million in 20 years. So.
All right. Well, anyways, on that note, make sure you guys, if you're enjoying this, share it with your friends, share it with your loved ones, and
your lovers,
and like and subscribe. And we will see you next week to continue this conversation, because we actually went over an hour, so I'm pretty proud of us. Until next time,
go team.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Frederick. It's not true. My name's Frederick
the Great. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.